Hello, today I'm going to do something that's very similar to shooting myself in the foot. Not literally, metaphorically. Today is day 40, it is July 21st, and what am I talking about? I am talking about taking some action. So today is day 40, and I got videos scheduled, so this will probably come out sometime in early August. And why I'm saying that I'm going to be shooting myself in the foot, or at least pointing uh, weapons analogies are a little bit like, bah. So let's just say I'm going to put something out there and make a promise that I will have to deliver on in about 3 weeks or so, which is I'm going to start to take some action, which is to begin to offer some human design readings, recorded human design readings. Uh, the intention here is really to be able to share with you and help guide you through the process of beginning to understand what the human design chart and what the human design system can teach you about yourself. This is the first part of the clarity part of the Haizhen transformation, and I think it's really important to understand the starting point, to have a good sense of self. Sense of self, I think, is something that is a little bit difficult to understand. If I think about like where my identity comes from, it makes me actually think of logical levels, which is something that I teach very often to my students and pharmacists and other people. Basically, like to share it out because it's a really great model, a hierarchy of understanding what what are the different factors that play into your personal development and your personality and your personal change kind of things. So if you look up logical levels, I can link to it down below. I keep saying this, but by the time I go ahead and upload it, I very likely will not have. But being the resourceful person that you are, just Google logical levels and you'll see a nice little triangle. And that triangle will show you a hierarchy of different things that affect individual change. So it's a hierarchy, so the things at the top affect the things at the bottom more, and the things at the bottom, when you change them, they might affect things upstream, but not to the same degree. I'm going to describe this to you now. So at the top of the triangle is mission. The mission is the thing that really drives you. It speaks to your purpose in life. And sometimes it's a explicit mission or a unspoken mission. But whatever it is, we all have that kind of driver, whether we know about it or not. And that's something that moves us forward. That's something that affects everything else down below. The next level down is identity. That's who you believe that you are. It's the story that you tell yourself, the things that you are capable of, and the limits that you put on yourself. That all fits into identity. And anytime that you make an I am statement, that is an identity statement. So if I say I am a hypnotist, that's one of my identities. If I say I am a human design reader, that's another one of my identities. I'm a pharmacist, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a friend. And in this case, I am the founder of the Haizhen transformation. The next level below that is beliefs and values. Beliefs and values are really interesting things. Values are things that we hold tight to our core, and these are things that also move us forward. So similar to mission, but in the sense, values are the things that we give value to, the things that kind of reward us or give us that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. If you've never done this, a values hierarchy is a really interesting exercise, really to go through and understand what the different things that are important to you in your life, what they end up giving you, and then what those ultimate drivers of value are at the very core. So how you would do a values hierarchy exercise is basically list off, get a piece of scrap paper, list off, write down all the things that are important to you, and then go through the list and ask what that thing on the list gives you. And if it gives you something different, then you ask what that next thing then gives you again. And you repeat this until the thing that you end up with gives you the thing that it is. So for example, if I say family is important to me, what does family give me? Family gives me love. Love gives me, it's a short example, love gives me love. So maybe love is the highest value in that chain. Love could also give me comfort, love could give me safety, love could give me all sorts of these things, and there's no right answer. It's really what's important to you. So just going through all the different things that are important to you, asking them what they give you, and what you'll end up with is probably a list of about 4 or 5 core values that you will unconsciously hold somewhere. These are what all of the things that you strive for in life, that you move towards, end up giving you at some unconscious or deeper level. Beliefs is another really interesting part of this level, because the beliefs are things that we hold on to that help us understand our experience in this construct, in our reality. Um, Beliefs are not truths. Let's just say that out first of all. And the other thing about beliefs then is to ask them whether they are serving you or not. If you have beliefs that are not serving you, then you may decide to change them. For example, limiting beliefs. If you think that I could never get up in front of a crowd and give a speech, I could never, I don't know. I don't know the things that you think that you can never do. But really, those things are things that you think that you cannot do. So the question to ask for beliefs is whether or not the belief is serving you. And to be curious about what is holding or what is keeping that belief in place. So if there is a useful belief, then hold on to it, utilize it. If you identify a belief that is not useful for you, ask yourself what makes that belief true. And you may find that as you continue down that path of inquiry, that some of those things that we believe are true, that are fixed for beliefs, are just simply things that we hold to be true and we maintain. If you find that that belief is not serving you, and you find that the things that are holding that belief up are no longer there, then you can put that belief aside, accept that you once had it, put it down, and choose a new belief and move forward. Under beliefs and values, you have capabilities. So these are things that you're able to do. So for example, as a pharmacist, I need to know about medications and how to counsel on them. So those are capabilities that I develop over time that makes me, or gives me, the ability to call myself a pharmacist. As a hypnotist, maybe that's to do inductions and to listen and to calibrate and to do all of those things that are related to hypnosis. And because I can do those things, then I have the capabilities of being a hypnotist. Under capabilities is your behavior. So these are the things that you do that kind of make you who you are. Whether that's to work in a pharmacy, whether that's to work with clients. As a human design reader, if I'm reading human design charts, that will be a behavior that I undertake. And then the environment is kind of where you do all of those things. So whether it's online here, or whether it's in person with you, or online, asynchronous, whatever, all of these different ways, kind of like it's more descriptive than anything. Sometimes changing the environment, getting a new change of scenery, will help to shift your perspective. That's kind of what traveling does for you. It takes you out of your current situation, almost a physical dissociation, puts you into a new situation. And because of that change environment, you may find that you come back changed in some way. You might bring back new beliefs, new values, new capabilities, rarely, but possibly a new identity even. Or you might find your purpose. You go somewhere and you're like, this is what I've been waiting my whole life for. So while the things at the lower end, or at the bottom of this triangle, can affect the things higher up, like it could change your mission, it could do all of these things, I can definitely get into that in a lot more detail, rather than this like quick and dirty 5-minute overview. But the things lower down, they have less effect. So let's say like I want to do human design readings, and I have my computer that's just over there. And if I'm sitting over there and I'm like, oh, this isn't really working out, I'm not doing the human design readings the way that I want to, if I just move over and sit over here instead, that might not change very much, right? But the changing the behaviors, right? Like I know that I have the capabilities, I have my certification, I've had the practice, I've had the training. So I have the capabilities. I believe that I can do that, and I value doing it because of what it can share and what it can reveal for other people. And as an identity, I can sit here and say, I am a human design reader because I have done this before, whether it's live in person, whether it's through a recorded video of looking through your human design chart, or whatever else, like live online as well. I know that I can do these things. So all of this is to say, what I would like to do is start doing more of the behavior that makes me a human design reader specifically. And what that means is I'm going to start offering to you human design readings. I'm right now offering human design readings. I don't know exactly how many. I don't want to make this a scarcity thing, but honestly, I have limited capacity, and based on the number of views and interactions that I have with my social media right now, it's probably fair enough to say that if I offer this out, I won't be sufficiently overwhelmed so that I can manage as much as I can. So I'm going to put that out there in this video, and I will do my best to share this out as broadly as possible. What I am offering is a 20-minute recorded human design reading for you to go specifically into the unique characteristics that make you you. So rather than a traditional human design reading that may be longer and go into a lot more depth, I'd love to give you a taste of what you could, a taste of the information and the clarity and revelation that you could experience through understanding your human design deeper. What I'll also do is, whether or not it comes in that same timeline, at some point, I will share out with you more generic information that you can also look up to further understand your human design chart. There are a lot of great people online that have a lot of wonderful content, whether it's on YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, not so much on TikTok actually, but Instagram and YouTube I have seen, and maybe there are people on TikTok, but they've just not come across my algorithm, which is absolutely okay. So there are all of that is to say, I am just offering this out now. So if this is something that interests you, definitely I know that the link for getting your chart will be at the bottom. Between posting this video and scheduling out, between this time recording it on today, July 21st, and the date that I end up making it live, I'll figure some way out for you to get in touch with me. Either I'll put it in the description for sure, and you can get your chart. I'll have to figure out a way for you to figure out how to get your chart for me and get that human design reading. I will figure that out. Maybe I'll do it by invitation, just kind of like that projector vibe to invite you into this whole thing. So let's do that as the first step. What I'm going to do is I will put forth this offer even out to my current email list. And so anybody that's on my email list at the time of this video, what's going to happen is I will invite you in to receive a human design reading. I think that sounds good. So all you have to do is go into the description below and find the place to get your chart at my website. I believe it's haizhen.ca/getchart. Put in your information, get your chart, drop your email, and we'll figure out the rest. I will invite you into a human design reading for this thing that I've just described, for you to begin to see yourself as clearly as possible through your human design. So I will invite you in through that way. If anything changes, I will come and apologize for my changing of how this is happening. And I look forward to getting in touch with you. So this is something that I want to share, and I want to put this out there and start doing these readings for people that are interested, because I know the power that this holds. And I think this is something I've been thinking a lot about recently in the last number of years, but even more right now, is the idea that learning something like cognitively, consciously, is just one step on the path to getting ready to actually utilize it and to do it and to embody and feel like you're ready to do something. I see this pattern a lot in a lot of things. So anytime that you go and do training, you learn how to do something. Let's say I went through school to become a pharmacist, I got my degree, and then I passed the exam. So then now I can be a pharmacist. I go into the environment where I can practice being a pharmacist, and I engage in the behaviors, utilize the capabilities, and the beliefs and values that I hold will kind of define the type of pharmacist that I appear as to my patients and to the people that, to colleagues and other professions, for example. Sometimes there is that bit of apprehension between like learning to do the thing and then actually doing the thing. In many cases with like like university and degrees and professions and stuff like that, you're forced into that space to actually do the thing. I see this barrier sometimes with people who become hypnotists. They get certified in hypnosis and they have the title of hypnotist, or whatever other titles, clinical hypnotist or whatnot. Um, and then the problem is you're kind of a freelancer. You're not going in to be hired as a hypnotist per se. There's not that many roles, although I have seen a couple clinics around this city, Toronto. So you're not like being put into that space of like, hey, like I'm just going to do this thing. And to make things a little bit more challenging, not everybody knows what they're looking for. So then people aren't necessarily looking specifically for the service. So then you need to find that place, number one, of being able to do what you can do, understanding the people that you serve, so that you can communicate out to them in a way that is that impacts them. So if you're watching this video, you are potentially somebody who's been working for a while and who's kind of lived through life and hit a lot of the different milestones that you've needed to hit. You've gone through school, you've gotten the job, you've maybe you have a partner, you've gotten married, you've started a family, and you've done all of these things, and you're still not satisfied. You're still looking for something. And a lot of times, maybe we turn to like looking for promotions for work, or just looking for the next vacation, or looking for the next distraction. And whatever that is, it's kind of like, oh, like I need this thing. Or even if maybe it's material goods, you're like, I need to earn enough money so that I can buy this thing, and that will signal to me that I am ready, I am capable, I am X, Y, or Z. Looking for external validation of your internal state. That's not uncommon, that definitely happens. So the human design reading process will be to clarify specifically who you are in all of that, because I think we are given stories, we are told who we are, how we need to be so that we can survive and thrive in the system and context that we're brought up in. But it's not always that easy, because the conventional wisdom and the conventional recommendations and stuff like that don't always fit for every single individual person. There's like 8 billion people on the planet. Does it make sense that there's only one way to do things, or even a narrow band of ways of doing things? In some ways, it kind of makes sense, because you have like standard deviations, and you have like that, like, you know, that one hump curve. Um, you have the Pareto principle, where like there's like the 80-20 principle, and most people fall in within some certain band, and there are characteristics. And even within all of that, there's uniqueness. Every single person is still different. So you got 8 billion people and you want to do things one specific way. Maybe do things your way. Figure out what that looks like. And that's where human design comes in. Human design will first of all give you your strategy and authority so that you can interact with your experience and understand how to make the choices that are the right choices for you. Getting into some of the deeper elements of the human design reading, some of the things that I will go over. Let me see. I can touch on strategy and authority. Like, these things are very common, and there's a lot of talk about that. I think what's also more interesting is looking at kind of like the energy centers and the connections between them, the charts, the channels that connect them, because that gives you a lot of flavor in terms of your individual experience. Some other places that I'll likely comment on are your sun and your earth, sun, earth, and moon placements, because sun and earth placements makes up for about 70% of your personality. So that will tell you a lot, and everything else is nuance. And then finally, one of my favorite things to look at is Incarnation Cross, and the number of times that I have shared the Incarnation Cross information, which outlines your purpose in this incarnation, in this human experience. The number of times I've shared that out and had people respond to it saying, like, this is bang on. This is like literally what drives me. This is why I wake up in the morning. It is just mind blowing. For myself, I think that initially when I first read it, I was not sure that that purpose was aligned to my actual purpose. But when I took a step back and I took a step away from the stories that were given to me, the ways that I thought that I had to be, I began to realize that purpose, the purpose to actually teach and teach again, maybe I can read it out to you, because sharing is caring. So when I actually thought about it a little bit more deeply, I realized that yes, this actually resonates really deeply, and it's actually the very specific thing that I enjoy. The most. So I'll just share my Incarnation Cross with you as a close off to this. And this is something that you have lined up for yourself. If you want to pull your human design chart and look this up, you can also Google this and kind of read and reflect on that. The invitation for the human design reading still stands. And that will be a pre-recorded 20-minute or so video. I end up talking a lot, so it may end up being a little bit longer than that, but ideally what I would hope to do is give you the most impactful information in the shortest amount of time, because time is valuable, even though it's a construct. So my Incarnation Cross is the left angle cross of dedication. I'm just going to read it off of my screen right here. The essence of your purpose, my purpose, centers around the gift of communication and the desire to convey your message with clarity and precision. You possess a natural inclination for teaching and the drive to repeat your explanation until it is fully understood. This dedication to your message allows you to clarify and refine your ideas over time, ultimately leading to a more profound understanding of your subject matter. If the last 40 days have shown anything, is that I can talk about the same thing over and over and over again. These are not topics that I've talked about for the first time. These are things that I like to talk about over and over and over again. And each time I talk about them a little bit differently, or I learn a little bit something new about it, so that that adds on to my understanding. And this is how I see my work with students, how I see my work with pharmacists and other people that are in the profession of teaching and showing different ways and new ways of doing things, and always getting closer and closer to getting a message that is succinct as well as informative, so that you can understand complex things in the shortest and clearest way. So that's my Incarnation Cross. That is my offer to you about the human design reading. So please get your link below, hit me up, let's connect. Message me if you really want this. I'd love to hear for your engagement. I'm not necessarily about just having one specific way to find me, just because one, I'm a little bit chaotic, and two, I know that everybody has their own specific preferences. So interact with me the way that you'd like. If it's on like my email, if it's on Google, like the comments here, you can DM me, you can, I don't know, like my contact information is somewhere. There will be a way for you to reach me, and we can chat that way. One of the things that I would really love to play with and to create is a way for this Haizhen transformation container to be as flexible and as customized to the way that you would like to experience this as possible. And I think what that will end up looking like, I'm just guessing, is some type of like consistent access to me, so that I can help you along wherever you end up as, because I know that as we move through programs, sometimes it's nice to have everybody kind of like moving along together, and then at other times we go at our own pace. So sometimes weekly calls don't work well for some people, and sometimes weekly calls work really well for others that need that kind of like regular timing. At least at this point, my capacity is such that I would get a kick out of helping and guiding you through your human design chart, your conditioning and deconditioning process, so that you can shine in your true brilliance as quickly and easy as possible in whatever way that you would want to. So it's all coming together. Day 40. 40! I'll just take another small moment here to just reflect on the fact that this is 40. I've done this 40 times. Can you believe it? And I'm kind of more talking to myself than anyone else. Can you believe that you've actually done this 40 times in a row? Haven't missed a day, which is really nice. My kid just had just shared that she had a 1,000 day streak in Duolingo, and my mind is blown. Like, I don't know that I've done anything 1,000 times in a row like that. So I'm at this 40-day mark. In 5 days, it'll be halfway between the initial 90 that I had set out to do. And depending on where it goes, like this has been a really good reflection time for me, as well as a good way of teaching the things that I want to teach over and over again. So I think this will continue to evolve past that, but I'm not there yet. Today, I got a weapon pointed at my own foot, so I have some deadlines to meet. I have some things that I've said that I will do, and whether or not I do them in that time will remain to be seen. But as true as this goes out as the word, as you're hearing these words through my mouth, reach out to me. Reach out to me, and I will take care of you. Until tomorrow, we will meet again.